Hi, my name is Mark Biernot. I'm an economist. In this video, I want to talk about the ESPO, the Eastern Siberian Pacific Ocean Pipeline. Sounds like ESP, but it's ESPO. So why does it exist? Why does it still exist? What is the significance? And what is the significance for the geopolitical struggle in Ukraine? And I cannot understand why this is still pumping oil. Let me give you some scope perspective. This pumps, in 2006, it pumped 500,000 barrels a day to China, through Manchuria, the industrial heartland. And in current year, it pumps about 1 million barrels of oil a day. Next year, they want to bring it up to 1.5 million barrels of oil a day. That's a direct link from the Ural Mountains, the Ural oil, the Russian, Siberian, Arctic oil, to Manchuria, and then eventually to North Korea. That's a tremendous economic impact. That is the sword of Damocles for Putin. Okay, the myth of Damocles, the story of Damocles is simply, Damocles was a courtier who was invited by Dionysus, I believe, to sit at a banquet table, and a beautiful banquet at that, and there was a sword suspended by a thread hanging over the guest's chair. And the parable here is that all power has a weakness, and it comes with a cost. This ESPO is the weakness of Russia. It is the only reason this geopolitical event in Ukraine can sustain itself for any amount of time. It's the only reason that China has warm feelings and gives Russia electronic parts. It's the only reason this is sustained. So why is this still in existence? Now, remember, in Germany, in the Baltic Sea, the pipeline, the two pipelines actually, that connected Germany to Russia, when they had an accident, then the pipeline changed the geopolitical landscape. Germany started to, find religion, or the German government started to say, maybe we do support Ukraine, because there was no direct economic future with Russia tied anymore, because obviously the Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 had an accident. What if, and I'm not suggesting it, I just got some citrus in my eye, I'm from Florida. What if ESPO had an accident, right? So I'm not suggesting anything, all kind of accidents could happen. Well, one of the reasons is it's so far remote, but one of the advantages of the accident is it can't be protected from accidents because it's so far remote and it stretches like, let's say, 3,000 miles through Siberia. This pipeline is so important because it is the center, the vein, the juggernaut, the main artery for Russia. Russia is a one commodity country, and China is the one big customer. If that customer goes away, if it's impeded, then, China is a fair weather fan. They don't like you. They don't not like you. They just want to make a buck. They just want to expand their own geopolitical agenda. So if that is disrupted, like it was disrupted with Nord Stream, this geopolitical event will come to an end soon. So why are people not focused on this ESPO, this Eastern Siberian Pacific Oil Pipeline? The company that makes it is Transneft. They have some dystopian, tower. And if you've ever been to Moscow, you ought to check it out. It looks pretty cool. Dystopian tower that twirls around into the clouds in Moscow. Daniel Tokarev, a buddy of Putin, and Alexander Novak, a buddy of Putin, run the company. And they're responsible for 80% of the pipelines of oil in Russia, 30% or more of gas pipelines. They're planning to run a parallel gas pipeline to China along this ESPO. It's not like, they're just going to watch something like the Lorax or do yoga classes and then tell Putin, maybe we ought to not do this pipeline because of environmental reasons cutting through the Siberian vast wilderness. They're going full force. They're using Chinese labor at a rapid pace to build and expand this connection between China and Russia. That makes this a very big concerning issue for the geopolitical future of the world. I mean, in one sense, you could say Ukraine's the distraction and the pipeline is the main event. If these two countries link like they are, and these Chinese workers, these Eurasian workers, these European workers have a joint, peaceful joint cooperation and link these two resources. And then comes uranium, gas, oil, everything you can imagine, linking these two economies, 1.5 billion people, and Russia, I think, is number 6 in oil reserves. It's not number 1. They like to bluff. Number 1 is like Venezuela, Saudi Arabia, and then it's Iraq, Iran, and Kuwait. And you could even argue they're lower on the chain. They need this linkage because there's too much competition in the world. There's always a bigger fish and another. So if they link up, this is the geopolitical event. And Ukraine, to some extent, is a distraction. The world has to come. I mean, I don't care if it's peaceful. Yeah, peaceful. Oh, citrus in my eye. But that has to be stopped. Think about the damage to the environment. Think about what they're using it for, to fuel, the sword of Damocles. It is the weak link. And, because of its remoteness, doesn't mean it can't. Every issue, every problem has a solution. And, as a world community of peaceful, loving people, we really want to find a solution. We want to make the world a better place. We don't want a despot ruling China with 1.5 billion, India being a pro-axis neutral with 1 billion, and then Russia, the largest geographical country of the world, to all be linked. That means our world is paved with a system that is not making the world a better place, but bringing the world back into serfdom. So Ukraine, it's just that Ukraine has to win. Russia has to lose. This link between this is very bad for the world and the environment. We have to make the world a better place. We have to stop it. This sword of Damocles, cut that thread, see what happens. And if you couple that with the oil refineries that are vaporized, the sanctions, and this pipeline is going around the $60 a barrel oil sanctions. It nullifies the sanctions of the world. The world has to focus on this, and somebody has to get it done. Maybe an accident will happen because, they're cutting down so many trees and the hottest summer ever, and maybe, got citrus in my eye, the pipeline will melt. But I don't know why YouTubers aren't talking about this. I don't know why the whole world is not talking about this linkage that's being built at rapid speed, incredible speed. Just look up Transneft, how fast they're laying this pipeline. And yes, you destroy something like the Nord Stream, it's underwater, so it's very difficult to repair, but this is on land. But this also is very large and is very vulnerable. So that's the geopolitical question of the day. And I'm asking everybody, why is this still here? And how, peacefully, wink, can we stop this and sever that link so China finds religion like Germany found religion, and starts realizing that it's not in their best interest to support geopolitical events that are not for the greater good of all of humanity. So, my name is Mark Baronaut. I'm an economist. Have a great day. Thank you very much.